PC-based gaming handhelds have always been popular, but Valve is the company that brought them into mainstream discussion. While traditional gaming handhelds from Nintendo have always relied on their own software and exclusive games, PC handhelds are different. They're either run on Windows or Linux, and they have access to any game that's been released on PC. The Steam Deck OLED is the pinnacle of these types of consoles. The OLED version is a major improvement over the original Steam Deck. It adds a 90Hz OLED screen, better battery life, Wi-Fi 6E, better thermals, and faster memory. We rarely see such major hardware upgrades early on in a console lifecycle, so this is certainly a breath of fresh air. In terms of design, this handheld is much bigger than something like the Switch OLED. You can verify this just by comparing the weight. The Switch OLED weighs 422 grams, and the Steam Deck OLED weighs 640 grams. This may make it seem like it's an uncomfortable console, but that's not the case. The rear of the console has curved grips that make it comfortable to hold. It's large and a bit heavy, but much more comfortable than bigger handhelds like the Lenovo Legion Go. The D-pad is on the left top corner, and the face buttons are in the opposite right corner. You find the analog sticks in the middle, and two capacitive touchpads right below that. These touchpads function like a mouse, and you can use them in first-person shooters. On the back, you'll find extra rear buttons that you can map to any in-game action. You've likely seen this before in game controllers like the Xbox Elite and DualSense Edge, so it's a welcome addition here. The only problem with the design is that it only comes in a black color, which is a bit boring. Most PC handhelds use Windows as their operating system, but Valve is using a custom Linux OS called Steam OS. This is based on their existing Steam app on PC, and has a very close resemblance to the big picture mode in the app. You buy all your games from the Steam storefront, meaning you have access to every game that's ever been released on Steam. Surprisingly, a lot of them work well. Playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on the 90Hz OLED screen is a fantastic experience, and the performance is quite decent. Sure, it doesn't go above 30 or 40 FPS in most cases, but if you lock the frame rate, the experience is quite smooth. Indie games such as Hades, Hollow Knight, and Stardew Valley run even better and take great advantage of the 90Hz screen. Buying, installing, and playing games from SteamOS is simple, as Valve has created a seamless console-like experience. It's much better than the Windows handhelds, as you won't run into annoying bugs or glitches for the most part. Battery life is decent, but it really depends on the game. For example, if you're playing something like Cyberpunk 2077, you'll only really get 2 hours of battery life at most. On other, less intensive titles, like Vampire Survivors, you might be able to get 7, 8, or even 10 hours of battery life. This experience is inconsistent, and one of the major drawbacks of the Steam Deck. In this space, there are a few competitors, and the main one is the Asus ROG Ally. The Ally runs on Windows, meaning you can easily play games with anti-cheat. However, the issue with Windows is that it wasn't designed for handhelds, and the setup process for some games is quite cumbersome. The Steam Deck is more accessible and easier to use for a wider audience, and SteamOS provides a more seamless experience. Putting all that together, the Steam Deck OLED is the premium handheld gaming console you can buy. It still requires a bit of tinkering depending on the game, but it's much easier to use than any other PC handheld. To sum up, what I like is the access to the Steam library, the gorgeous 90Hz OLED screen, the great performance in most games, and it's surprisingly ergonomic. On the downside, inconsistent battery life and somewhat boring design. Ratings: Game Library, 9.5 out of 10. Performance, 8 out of 10. Screen, 8.5 out of 10. Battery life, 7 out of 10. Value, 9 out of 10. For an overall rating of 8.5 out of 10.